Hey, what is going on, guys? It is Young here, and today I'm back in our Fortnite video, and in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys some tips and tricks over this 20 kill gameplay. I'm going to be talking through this gameplay and explaining the gunfights I'm going into, as well as giving you guys some tips and tricks on how you guys can improve and also get better here in solo Fortnite. So definitely stay to the end of the video because I dropped a pretty solid 20 kill game in this video. And before we get into the video, I have a V-Buck giveaway. I'm going to be giving away 2,000 V-Bucks. And if you guys want a chance to enter this giveaway, all you guys have to do is to drop a like on this video. Make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel, turn on my post notifications, and as well leave a comment down below of either your Xbox gamer tag, your PSN gamer tag, or Epic account, and you guys will be entered into the giveaway. So make sure you guys do enter if you guys want a chance to win some free V-Bucks. And alright guys, let's go right to the video. Alright, so like I said, I ended up dropping about 20 kills in this gameplay, and I want to be breaking it down and showing you guys exactly what I did in this game that helped me get 20 kills and exactly how I approached the gunfights, because I feel like those tips can help you guys out a ton when it comes to challenging your gunfights, because I feel like when it comes to the positioning and just the way you push and challenge other players makes all the difference between winning a gunfight and losing a gunfight, regardless of your mechanical skill in the game. So as far as building, editing, stuff like that, of course, you want to improve that if you want to be able to win a lot more games, but having better positioning, or not even just better positioning, but challenging gunfights right, will just help you win a lot more gunfights, well, without having to spend a ton of time mechanically improving in the game. So here I start off the game with 4 kills right off the start, and so I end up seeing another player right in this building, so I got a couple shots in before I challenged. And that's one thing that you definitely want to make sure in Chapter 2 is getting those chip damage shots. And you have to be very, very careful, because one thing I did notice here in Chapter 2, and you guys notice as well, is a lot of people have, pretty much every little Timmy, every 9-year-old kid in this game carries around a sniper rifle. So basically the entire lobby carries around sniper rifles. So you really want to be careful when it comes to peeking. That's probably one of the #1 ways people lose at this game. So when it comes to long range shots, if the other player isn't looking at me, then of course I'll go for the shot. But if the other player already is looking in my direction, I almost never look for the shot. It's just not a good idea, just because it's just not a good idea by any means whatsoever, especially because these little Timmies hit their sniper rifle shots an insane amount of times. So it's just not in your best interest to try to challenge other players that already have a sight on you, because if you try to challenge that, it's just not going to end well. A lot of times you are going to get sniped, and you are going to be losing games because you're challenging players that already are looking in your direction. So I would say, first of all, be very, very careful with long range shots. I try to avoid them unless they're not looking at me, and then I'll try to go for a few shots, and then of course a challenge or a push. I really don't like the long range here in Chapter 2 because, like I said, a lot of little kids sit in their boxes with their assault rifles and spam, and then you have people with sniper rifles who are looking for shots as well. So long range gunfights are something you probably want to avoid at the most part, unless, like I said, they're not looking at you. You're looking for a few chip damage shots. But other than that, don't challenge anything long range. At most, get a couple shots, and then you want to push and play aggressive. And that's what I would say needs to be your main focus on improvement, is working on your gunfights close range, so shotgun shots, SMG shots. You're probably going to see the most improvement and the most benefit from improving in those aspects versus trying to improve your assault rifle aim, because it's just not going to be a key factor of winning a lot of gunfights and a key factor of winning a lot of games here for Chapter 2. Other seasons, I would probably disagree, depending on the season, but for this one, I just have to say, working on your close range fights is probably going to be the best and fastest way to improve here in Chapter 2. And when it comes to long range gunfights and shotguns, I definitely made a video just a couple days ago where I talk about the pump and tac shotgun. I would definitely recommend watching that video, give you guys a little bit of insight when it comes to the tac shotgun and the pump shotgun. But just to sum it up, the tac shotgun's better for aiming down your sights, and the pump shotgun's better for hip fire. So those are kind of like the main takeaways, and just certain things like that, certain mechanics, just knowing them will help you improve and make better decisions in your game, and will help you win a lot more games. And as far as improving your SMG aim, it is a little bit more difficult for controller players because you have the I guess, aim assist thing you can worry about. So I feel like the best way, and I did talk about this in a previous video as well, is I think box fights are probably one of the best ways to improve because you're constantly in close range gunfights. So I would say that's probably the best solution to improving your shotgun and SMG aim is going to be box fights. It doesn't matter if you're playing on mobile. I mean, if you guys are mobile, if you're playing on console, if you're playing on PC, whatever you play on, keyboard and mouse, doesn't really matter. I think box fights are going to be your best bet for improving specifically shotgun and also specifically SMG aim. And I feel like those are the best way to go, or if you're specifically looking to improve in those areas, which I would highly recommend. I feel like that's probably the best areas to improve on in this game. But of course, there's other aspects like building, editing. But close range gunfights are going to be a huge determining factor on how many games you're winning and how many games you're losing here specifically for Chapter 2. And when I was mentioning earlier when I was talking about control, it's a little bit more difficult to practice aim because on PC you have Kovacs, so you can practice your aim and it really doesn't make too much of a difference. But when it comes to controller, you have aim assist, so it is a lot more difficult to practice like aiming tutorials because the aim assist isn't going to be the same and it's just different in a lot of aspects. It's just not the best way to improve. So I always recommend like 1v1s, box fights, things like that for controller players because it's the best way to improve your aim by far, in my opinion. So that's what I would lean to for improving in those aspects. And so here in this gunfight, one thing you'll notice is I'm going for a lot of editing plays. I do go for a lot of edits here in Chapter 2 because I think quick gunfights and things like that are very, very important. But notice, especially in that gunfight and a lot of my gunfights, when I'm going for edit plays and I'm going for different type of shots, notice how when I'm going into these gunfights, I'm always keeping high ground. So like when I went for the edit on the floor and the ramp to finish off that player just before, I edited in a way where I edited, and then if, say for instance, they were to maybe jump to the side or build, it wouldn't have mattered. I would have continued to have high ground. So that's one thing I really see, and a big problem I see a lot of players make. And what a lot of players will do is when they're going for edit plays, they overcommit. So they'll go for an edit play, and then they'll drop down, or maybe they'll drop too far towards the other player. And I feel like that's a big mistake that I see a lot of people make in this game, because when you're going for edit plays, you want to edit in a way that gives you an advantage, but also at the same time you're not giving up any sort of high ground. You're not giving up too much advantage. You're not over leveraging or over committing on the advantage that you have on height, because every single time you go for a build, edit, a shot, you always want to put it in a way that you're not really sacrificing too much. So even if you miss the shot, even if you completely PC aim all over the place, little Timmy. If you completely scuff your aim, it doesn't even matter. You're still able to hold high ground. You can build up again and then go for the play once again, maybe a few seconds later. So it's not going to cost you anything whatsoever versus if you overcommit, completely scuff your shot, then, you lose high ground, you give the other player the advantage, and more than likely, you might even take a little bit of damage if they happen to get a shot on you. So it completely changes everything just by that aspect. So when you're going for edit plays, when you're going for different plays and other players, you want to make sure you're going for plays in a way that you're not overcommitting and you're not giving up your high ground, you're not giving up your position to try to look for a shot. Instead, you want to find a way to be able to hit shots and also at the same time keep the advantage that you have. And there's a lot of ways you can do it, like when you go for the floor, when you place a floor and a cone over another player, go for a double edit. Maybe you go for the shot where you shoot and then you place a floor under you and then you can continue to keep high ground. Different things like that. Of course, there's a lot more, but those are just a few examples of things that you can really work on that will at least allow you to keep high ground without completely scuffing it, like exactly what I did right there. That was a really bad example, but don't do exactly what I just did right there. I think the reason why I did it because I was just trying to like goof around and go for a clip. But ultimately, that wasn't the smartest play. Just don't do exactly what I just did right there and jump down for the clip. You should instead keep your high ground and then try to make a play from there. Because a lot of people in this game, if you're on high ground, they'll try to go for some high ground retake, try to build up on you. And in that case, you have complete advantage. A lot of times they leave themselves open and you're going to be able to get a shot on them and finish off that player very, very easily. So here I am going into the last gunfight. I have 20 kills, about to finish this game with 21 kills. Very, very cool. So this guy's just spamming with RPGs. So I'm just being careful, trying to get as many shots as I can while this guy is just peeking me, spamming with RPGs, whatever the case may be. But I'm going to end up getting this guy's wall, finishing him off for the 21 kill win. And with that being said, that's a wrap up for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys liked it, make sure you guys do drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already, turn on my post notifications so you guys are notified for every single new video. And alright guys, I'll see you next video.